In this video, we're going to be talking about this winter storm that is ongoing right now. And what we have right now is a big storm across the south, the deep south. We have after this storm rolled through Texas and Louisiana on this morning, it brought blizzard conditions down in places like the beaches of Louisiana and some parts of extreme eastern Texas. And so we're going to be talking about that in this video. And what is next for this winter storm? And we got as much as a foot of snowfall in central Louisiana, and blizzard conditions were this storm overperformed in Louisiana to the point where there was first time ever blizzard warning issued in Louisiana ever. Historic snowfall amounts, and this will be remembered for a long time. And let me tell you, grandparents are going to be telling the latest generation about 2025, that storm that brought the first blizzard warning ever to come to Louisiana. Now, as this storm is now moving into the Florida Panhandle, it has already caused more than 3 inches of snow near that area, which is catastrophic because we're just starting with the snow. We are going to get possibly 7 inches of snow in the Panhandle because of the storm has so much moisture than the model was anticipated. So this snow will be accumulating, and we are probably going to break that 4-inch record in Florida. And we've already broken a few records already. And we're just getting started, as the latter half of the storm is now going to take place tomorrow. Tonight into tomorrow morning in the overnight hours. And the overnight hours is when this peaks and arrives. But right now, so let's look at across the globe right now. So we have this trough right behind this system right here. It's causing lake effect snow to places like Michigan and New York are going to get a lot of lake effect snow bands. There is one moving through right now, through New York right now. There is a few little bands coming through here into Canada, Ontario, coming in, but there is this trough that will be digging down over the next few days. We don't know what it's going to do, but it has something to do with this storm and the next storm that might come. But there's also this trough sitting off the coast, bringing more moisture, which might shape up for another south winter storm later. We'll check that out later in the video, but yeah, this trough is now digging into the south, bringing feel-like temperatures into the teens in places like Gainesville and Jacksonville, and even as far east as Jacksonville, North Carolina, which is quite insane, but let's keep going. So right now, we do have a lot more winter storm impacts coming for North Florida, especially places like Gainesville, right in through here, where you could see ice down here because of this overperformed. This is overperforming in with the models with almost a foot of snow in central and southern Louisiana. We're still seeing extreme impacts for the snow, but mostly the snow is now moving away, and it's mostly going to shift to the Florida Panhandle now for snow potential. But you could still see the possibility of a flurry again. But after that, it's going to be mostly the cold air that's going to be following behind this. The cold air that's going to be following behind this. And long after the storm is gone, the ice potential will still be here as the temps drop below freezing for most of southern Louisiana. and it'll bring those ice going to happen. And as we shifted east here, they have expanded it to the places like North Carolina for major impacts for the snow due to this system now recurving. Now the models say it's going to recurve and bring some more snow and sleet threat on the coast. So beachside snow and wintry mix is going to be the problem. But let's talk about the freezing rain threat. This is going to be bad. Up to a quarter of an inch is possible through northern Jacksonville and the Florida-Georgia state border will have the most ice accumulation. So the areas I'm going to circle will get a quarter of an inch of ice right through here. This is the most confident place for ice accumulation over or reaching a quarter of an inch. And the 1/10 of an inch is basically widespread across this area, but even extending in some parts of southern Georgia for that threat. And so this outside layer is for about 1/100th of an inch for ice. This layer is for about 1/10 of an inch of ice, and this layer is for a quarter of an inch of ice. Possible. Not likely, but possible through these areas. It's about a 20 to 30% chance, according to the National Weather Service. And so the main bullseye will be right in through northern Jacksonville and the Florida-Georgia state border right through here will be the main threat. And I-10 is still along that, which could be very impactful as some parts of I-10 have already shut down because of the snow that's going to come through here. And most of the schools And I've heard Duval County, Clay County, and maybe St. John County has already canceled their schools, but there's a lot more cancellations where that came from. But schools are canceled over here. It's mostly a snow day. It's mostly the first snow day for people in here, in this area. And it's gonna be insane impacts. I called it a hyperstorm because I thought I was gonna overperform. And I did say that they will possibly get tracked a foot. And it turned out that it did overperform, and some places of Louisiana cracked a foot. But now we gotta keep going. But winter storm warnings extend into places like Virginia, and the blizzard warning has been called off. But later in the video I will show you that I did post about this. This morning there was a blizzard warning down there, as I already mentioned, but that has been called off because this storm is now moving east, and you need to hunker down by the time. So if you're in this area, you need to hunker down now. You should have already been hunkered down. But if you're in this area, you need to hunker down tonight. And then finish preparations right now. Finish preps. Drip your faucet. Drip your faucet so ice doesn't get on some of the pipes. And make sure you stay safe off the roads. After the storm, you can still go outside, but please do not drive if necessary. Do not drive as necessary. But let's keep going. And this is the Arctic front that's going to that has caused this winter storm and caused the jet stream to plummet. This is a decaying front heading towards the decaying front coming towards the Caribbean, bringing some chillier temperatures to the northern Caribbean. Watch out for that. And this system is going to bring some light snowfall. And there is that fire danger again. I kind of ignore that because in last videos, because talking about this winter storm, but so it's hyper focused that day. But there is a Arctic high pressure system right there, and there's this new front that a low will spark, and this will move off the coast and bring that second cold front, which will steer it to the south, causing that freezing rain and snow threat to come up. But then, after that system leaves, that system will have the tendency to recurve to the north just a little bit, just enough to get some snow in Virginia and North Carolina. So, let's go out. Let's zoom in here. And again, that freezing rain threat. Let me delete this here. Yeah, that freezing rain threat is going to continue all the way from the Panhandle, Florida, all the way up to the coast, the East Coast, some parts of the East Coast in South Carolina and some parts of North Carolina, but mostly snow after that. There is still the chance of wintry precipitation through here. Only pull up mixed precipitation. yes, winter precipitation is still gonna be a threat through the coast, and it will get down to some places like southern Gainesville, extreme northern parts of Orlando, even some parts of Tampa may be impacted by wintry precipitation if the conditions are right. But mostly just a cold rain through this area. Not gonna see any snow down here. Not that you should get any snow, but there, the weather can be crazy sometimes, like in this instance. But the snow threat behind this probably not going to really happen. Snow threat behind the system, maybe. That's a maybe. But it's pretty likely that we'll get under an inch of snow in the Jacksonville area. But yeah, let's go out in time. This threat is mostly gone by then, but northern Florida could still see some sleet and mixed precipitation, but that's mostly it as this next system moves out. Let's make this speedy, okay? So as we go in time now, this is today at close to midnight, close to 10 o'clock Eastern time, that you can sleet through Georgia, the Panhandle of Florida, South Carolina, and even some parts of North Carolina currently. And snow is still continuing up into North Carolina and some parts of Virginia, but it's mostly starting to taper down in Louisiana. It's gonna start as rain. It's gonna start as normal rain. It's gonna start as normal rain before it switches to freezing rain. But on the NAM, right now it's just rain. But I think the NAM is downplaying this a bit with the cold air that gets in, because the amount of moisture that streams north is phenomenal on the NAM, but the Arctic air isn't really here for the NAM, which is kind of crazy, since just yesterday evening, it was showing freezing rain all the way down in the Tampa, which is crazy to think about. But the NAM can be unpredictable sometimes, but it shows mostly rain for Jacksonville. Again, this is not what's going to happen. But finally, freezing rain does get into the Panhandle, and then that snow and sleet accumulations for southern Georgia will be adding up. But freezing rain and sleet accumulations and some snow accumulations will be possible, as a flurry or two could be mixed in with there, as hence the name wintry precipitation. But most of that freezing rain line stays north of Jacksonville in this run, which is kind of interesting to me, because it shows a lot of snow in the southern states, like Georgia, in southern Georgia, but the freezing line is right on the border. The Florida border is literally the freezing rain line for some reason, and the NAM will not have it. The NAM will not have it with this one, with snow or freezing rain coming into Florida. It would not have that. But as we go out in time, that disappears. But that next system I talked about is gonna keep bringing some snow. And then this small-scale convective system might try to form. Not gonna be any typical threats, but it'll just move offshore, and then this warm high-pressure system will keep things warm for a while. And we're actually going pretty quick, but the ice accumulations could be up to a quarter of an inch, as I said. But again, there's an inch in Georgia off the coast. Not gonna happen because GFS is crazy, but again, but still, a quarter of an inch is possible, not half an inch. That would be very crippling. But this storm is Enzo again. We already crossed out a Naya from last year. That was the only winter storm for some reason. Blair, you know Blair. It was a blizzard. Cora happened a few weeks ago. Demi happened, I think it was 2 weeks ago. Maybe it was last week. I don't really remember. But Enzo is the next name on the list and has already been taken. So, the next name on the list is Freya. And again, I wanted to show you that I did post about this during the morning. Yes, it says 7 hours ago, but it's still in the morning. About a few minutes as I woke up to the internet buzzing about this. That is a blizzard warning for Louisiana for the first time in history. Again, it has been dropped, but this is the before. This was yesterday at the same time. And then this was like yesterday, almost 2 days ago. This was almost a day ago. This is what we're looking at. And then we saw this. Nobody was expecting a blizzard warning to come out of this. I mean, there was a threat for gale conditions, but apparently they reached that threshold. So Enzo was officially, at least at one point, was a blizzard. And yeah. But let's go down to Jacksonville, Florida, and those areas around it. Again, we ran out of time yesterday, but I think we can squeeze it in here. Finalize winter weather ready-ish. Hunker down by late afternoon and the evening tonight. And inland freezes, dangerous wind chills for the weekend, and dangerous surf because of the gusty winds and the gale warnings that will be issued up along the coast. The general timing is 5 p.m. for southern Georgia, after 9 p.m. this evening on northeast Florida. The warning areas, snow, freezing rain, and sleet are expected to cause impacts. Freezing rain and wintry mix may cause some impacts for places like St. Augustine, which is crazy, and Ocala could see some wintry mix, which is insane. Almost every single county on that map has some kind of warning for that area. Finalize winter preparations today. Shelter by the evening. Do not travel on icy roads. Again, here's that map. Again, South Georgia, some parts of the Florida-Georgia border, southeast Georgia, snow and ice. Anywhere north of that, anywhere in central Georgia, snow. But as we get down into places like Fernando Beach, Lake City, Gainesville, mostly ice. Ocala, mostly rain, but you could still see a few icy packs through there, and it's gonna last from about 5 p.m. Eastern time to 11 a.m. Eastern time. So let's move on. This is the ice impact potential. There again, through this area, there could be some major impacts and scattered power outages. But don't forget about places like here. Ocala could see ice accumulation. St. Augustine could see a glaze. Clay and Duval could see a big medium glaze. And let's see. Okay, we're almost out of time, but I think we can squeeze this in. Freezing rain of over 1/100 of an inch, almost definitely through this corridor. And almost definitely for that corridor, but for 1/10 of an inch, about the max potential through this area through here, and then this again, that's the 1/100th of an inch, and that's 1/10 of an inch. That's the main area, remember? And this right through here is the maximum potential for just below or at 1/4 of an inch, which would be devastating. And again, we could see a flurry down here, but mostly just above the Florida Georgia border. And yeah, there's no way we're gonna see any snow down here. But there will be some hard freezes and some morning wind chills into the 20s again. Again, gale warnings, and stay dry when the waves are high. That's their motto. But be careful of heat sources, though. Place portable generators safety. Use outdoors, please, and at least 20 feet away from doors, windows, garages to avoid carbon monoxide poisoning. Check on your neighbors, okay? Just check on their neighbors to see if they're okay. And that's the end. But you can look at this and pause it, but you can pause and look at this, but I think we're running out of time a long time ago. But this is JFB Forecast logging off. See you next time. Remember, don't be scared. Just stay prepared.